Problem-based learning. A closer look at the Algebra 1 curriculum and its implementation. Curriculum development, issues, trends, and assessment for educational leadership, presented by educational leadership candidates Aaron Pearson, Evan Platt, Shantae Rice, and Aurelia Sinsley. Needs analysis for Algebra 1. Baker High School was founded in 1900. As the only high school in Baker, Louisiana, it has easily become the keystone of the community. The high school was built upon academic distinctions, competitive athletic programs, and a plethora of other extracurricular activities. It was once a powerhouse that competed well academically and athletically against the top schools in the state. The large campus once flirted with 1,400 students. Over the years, demographics has changed, test scores dropped, and the population of the school decreased by 60%. Baker High School has 540 students enrolled, and 378 of those students are on free reduced lunch. This classifies the school as a Title I school. Baker High's population is made up of 96% blacks, 3% white, and 0.9% Hispanic, and 0.1% Asian. The population of male students outnumber the female students 294 to 246. 13% of students at Baker High are special education. Traditionally, schools with a high number of students of low-income home perform low during testing. Baker High falls into that category. Baker High School scored a 64.8 D, falling 15.2 points from the 73% C grade from the previous year. What hurt Baker High School the most, Baker High only scored 30% proficiency for end-of-course testing, 31% lower than the state's average of 61%. Out of the 6 content areas tested, algebra scored the lowest, with only 10% of students scoring proficient and 51% needs improvement. Over half of the 164 students tested for Algebra 1 failed the end of the school year testing. A deeper explanation of area of interest for Algebra 1. For this study, our focus will be algebra. Of the 164 students who participated in the end of the course testing for algebra at Baker High, only 10% scored proficient. 51% of the students' scores fell into the needs improvement category. This data indicates that over half of the students who participated in Algebra 1 EOC assessment failed. Baker High School uses the Louisiana Department of Education's Algebra 1 curriculum as the state's foundation for high school math and beyond. During this study, we will research the effectiveness of the curriculum and what it is needed to improve Algebra 1, geometry, and ACT math scores. Research-based questions. During our need analysis, we hope to answer the following questions. What interventions are in place to improve Algebra 1 test scores? What are the top 3 standards students are not grasping? Are the teachers preparing students for the end of this course test? Are students with accommodations receiving special attention needed to be successful? What strategies can be added to the curriculum to reach the student? What are successful schools in the same demographics doing differently?
Improving student success in high school Algebra 1 by identifying successful teachers in school. This study examined practices of teachers in Wake County Public School High School's Algebra 1 classes. Regression analysis of standardized state testing results allowed for identification of most effective and least effective Algebra 1 teachers in school. The study collected data to help understand instructional practices, identified and shared best practices in Algebra 1, and contribute to the series of studies that identified the role of teachers. Effectiveness of cognitive tutor Algebra 1 at scale. U.S. students still perform poorly on the National Assessment of Educational Progress in international comparisons with their counterparts from many other countries. In an effort to address this issue, many districts and schools have turned to computer-based tools as a way to boost math performances. These tools allow self-paced institutions and provide students with customized feedback. To make headway in addressing this knowledge gap, a team of researchers assessed whether a population of algebra curriculum that includes tutoring software would be effective in improving the math test scores of middle and high school students.
Research response. During our time researching the curriculum design and implementation at Baker High School, we have discovered strategies and practices that are not being implemented but will allow for improvement of student learning outcomes data that drives instruction. This discovery of data-driven instruction will collaboratively work with the current curriculum being implemented at Baker High School and the Louisiana Department of Education. The school is using the mathematics pacing curriculum itinerary and compass that covers skills in the area of algebra, functions, number and quantity, and statistics and probability. It is evident that the school is not meeting the expectations of the following conceptual categories: algebraic functions and statistics and probability. With teachers using sample works from the previous units in the curriculum to guide instruction in the upcoming unit, outcomes will ultimately improve according to the data model mentioned. Success in the area of algebra at Baker High School is measured based on the attainment of proficient score levels on the state standardized testing and expected performance level of students. In order to introduce the data-driven approach at Baker High School, we would organize professional developments for the department chair. Department chairs will be responsible for utilizing obtained information and present to this approach to the teachers. While analyzing data, there are several considerations that must be placed in order to plan effectively. As a learning community, we will work along with our teachers to evaluate how many students receive 504 accommodations, ESS services, and who are required unique services that could possibly be absent from the school. This research and our personal beliefs are aligned. As savvy school leaders, we believe if the state has standards to be met, then the administration and teachers should be able to educate students where they can effectively use them. It is our belief that by using instructional decisions based on student data can lead to improvement student performance in the future. As curriculum leaders, we all have been influenced to use multiple data resources in order to get the most accurate vision of what students are in need of. As curriculum leaders, we also believe there is a need to observe more and compare notes with other administrators to see what teachers may need assistance in delivery.
The strengths of the algebra curriculum are as follows. Algebra is the gateway to success in the 21st century. The curriculum allows students to make the transition from concrete arithmetic to the symbolic language of algebra. They develop abstract reasoning skills necessary to excel in math and science.
Curriculum document. Our team selected Algebra 1 as the area of study that needs support. According to end of course assessment results for Algebra 1, 10% of testers scored proficient. The documents that we selected to support our research for greater improvement performance in Algebra 1 and ACT math scores are located in the Louisiana Department of Education's website and are listed and accessible on the K-12 Math Planning Resource page. The first document, the sample year plans for Algebra 1, suggests how Algebra 1 curriculum should be addressed across the school year and is established as an Excel document. The sample year plan is segmented into Unit 1 through 12 and lists standards to be addressed. Further, the standards are coded in clusters and are labeled as major, supporting, and additional. The page also posts the potential gaps in student prerequisites, knowledge, time frames for completion, and assessment limits and clarifications. Curriculum document continued. The next documents, the K-12 Louisiana Student Standards for Math, contains standards for mathematical practice and student standards for Algebra 1. Both are Word documents and are written in narrative form. The mathematical practice pages explain relevant practices that students need to master to ensure success in Algebra 1. Student standards for Algebra 1 describe the skills that students need to be fluent with to attain success in passing end-of-course assessments and other higher-order math courses, including ACT assessments.
The way the standards are written, they've been broken down in such a way that you see what exactly is being stressed within that curriculum. It is broken down by major strands, things that are most important in that unit. Then the minor strands, as well as the supportive strands, things that should have been taught before, things that are necessary to master the skill now. And I think that is important not only for the student, but for the instructor, so they can know what they really need to primarily focus on when they are teaching a particular lesson or a particular unit.
Our group has proposed a calendar of events to support Algebra 1 ACT for the 2017-2018 school year. The plan is to facilitate campus participation of district planning, implementation, monitoring, and revision of the curriculum to ensure appropriate scope and sequence, content, and alignment. The goal is to achieve greater passing rates for ACT. Baker High School of Baker, Louisiana will implement the following plan supported by the district's shared curriculum for Algebra 1 in accordance with the assigned timeline. Please review the plan below. Implementation of the Algebra 1 curriculum will be examined by the math team, which is comprised of administrators, data team members, and math teachers. Each math team member has a specific role in executing the tasks noted in the math team's agenda. Monitoring of the Algebra 1 curriculum will be conducted by administrators and curriculum leaders. Additional support will be provided by math instructional specialists. Revisions to the curriculum compass were made to the office document in 2017. The school's use of the curriculum will be mandated as needed to satisfy support needs for the students as dictated by assessment results. Manipulation of the curriculum will look like reteach, reassess, review. We suggest the following recommendations. Evaluate your teachers while observing classes to discover teachers' strengths and needs. Administrators should spend more individualized time with math teachers or their departments to review lesson plans, supporting activities, and potential remediation strategies while examining standards and comparing for alignment. Since Algebra 1 and its end-of-course assessment are required for graduation, administrators and school leaders should rally for and promote Algebra 1 so that it can be taught on 2 tracks. As your schools are preparing students to meet state requirements, you should also incorporate courses to reference financial management.
Future learning. Question. Baccarat found that only 17% of principals' time is allocated to what is most important in our school's curriculum, instruction, and student achievement. What is the rest of the time spent on? Did the academic decline and then the sports decline, or did they decline concurrently? Was the school district pulled out, form, the parent district, a detriment to the well-being of academics across the Baker School District? Are assessment scores for Baker's elementary and middle school reflective its high school assessment scores?